Hey, it's the Priestess Infinite Prime. Hope all is doing well. I have a message from Spirit that I want to share with you guys from the Great Mother. The veil is getting thinner and it's pretty much gone, honestly. And these times we really need to make sure that we are in alignment with the Most High. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to make sure that you are in communion with the Most High. So I want to talk about prayer. So the name of what I wanted to name this was to pray or to be prayed upon, right? I feel like that's fitting because of like what's going on in the world today and just like how vulnerable things are right now when because of the shift that we're in and like how we're moving into like a more a spiritual existence. So it's like it's like the good and bad parts to it, or you could just say like high vibrational things that can happen or in low vibrational things that can happen. So it's like, with being more vulnerable to the spiritual realm, you're going to encounter good energy and bad energy. That's the best way that I can put it. Good energy and bad energy. So positive, negative energy. So with that being said, it's like, are you going to pray or are you going to be prayed upon? So I want to speak on prayer and like how important that is. For the divine feminine, for the women out here, we really, really, really need to tap into our spiritual bag, and we need to make sure that we are speaking to our ancestors, that we are speaking to the angels, that we are speaking to the Great Mother. This is so important right now because of the state that the world is in. Like, it's really time for the women to stand up and be in their feminine power. Being in your feminine power has to be with you stepping into your spirituality more and taking it more seriously, because you have to always take into consideration that we are spiritual beings having human experiences. So, especially now in these times, you're going to see how much more spiritual things are than actual physical and material. So, I want to talk about how, like, women, I'm looking down at my notes. Women have always held the power when it comes to the spiritual realm. Okay, we are literally walking portals. You have to think about like women and feminine energy. It is a spiritual energy. So, like I was saying, with all the madness and stuff happening in the world, we need to make sure that we keep our families and our community in safety. And so you have to understand that there is so much power in your words, okay? And it can either be your greatest benefit or your downfall. So because it's like, honestly, your words are like a living prayer. So, what is it that you're saying to yourself every day? What is it that you're saying to your kids every day? What is it that you're saying about your community? What are you saying about the world? Okay, these words matter. So you have what you're saying to yourself has a very great effect on how you feel about yourself. So you need to speak positively about yourself so that you make sure to feel good about yourself. Now, when it comes to praying for the community, how you feel about your community is going to manifest. So if you just think your community's trash, then that is what your community will be. That's what your neighborhood will be. But you have to understand, like, we're the ones that hold the power. What are you saying? What are you saying about your surroundings? Make sure that is always positive and understand that we're not perfect. Even I'll catch myself saying some bullshit, and I have to tell myself like, hey, no, we're going to stay on a positive note and we're going to transmute that, and we're going to turn it into something positive. Just make sure that you catch yourself, you know, when you saying some stuff that's like not really positive, make sure that you change it up, you know, and correct it, you know, and take back that energy and pour something positive into it. um what else did I want to say? um Also, pray for the ones that are around you, the people who are around you, that are in your vicinity. You know, if there are people that are, you know, getting on your nerves, if there are people in a community that are nuisances or just causing trouble, you know, in your community, put in a petition to your ancestors. Make sure that you tell them about what's going on. Make sure that you talk to the angels about what's going on, and, you know, let them know that you want things to change, and ask for divine guidance on how to, like, you know, be more positive about whatever is going on in your life, because I know that things can be challenging and sometimes you feel hopeless, like, you know, things are not going to change, like it's just always going to be this way. You have to make sure that when you're in spaces like that where you feel hopeless, that you ask for faith. You know, ask the Most High for you to keep strong in your faith. This is something that I had to learn, because sometimes I would get myself in stupors where, you know, you just, if you pay attention too much about what's going on around you and in the world, you know, it can easily put you in a depressed state. Easily. And that's why you shouldn't be delving too much into the news, and, you know, because it just puts you in a downward spiral. It'll make you feel like you're powerless, but you can't be in that space of where you're feeling powerless, because we are powerful beings. We are divine beings, okay? And we have access to our ancestors. We have access to the angels. We have access to the Great Mother. She's always listening to us. Our ancestors are always listening to us. The angels are always listening to us. It's about whether or not you put in the work to make yourself seen by them. Because if you're not saying anything, and if you're staying in a low vibrational frequency, there is absolutely nothing that you can do for them, you know? A high frequency has a really hard time reaching lower frequencies. So you have to try your best to stay in a positive mind frame. And when you are in trouble, let them know. You know, if mentally you're in trouble, you having problems, ask them to lift your vibrational frequency up, to put you in a state that's of a higher frequency, because they can do that for you if you're struggling. But we must be in continuous prayer all the time. When you see people that are acting up in the streets, say a prayer. Make sure that you are praying for protection for yourself and for your family. It is super important in these times right now. It's a lot of weird shit going on out here. And you need to put on the armor of God. And the armor of God is your words. Your words are strong and powerful. Think about it. When you speak, it is a vibrational frequency. Your throat, it is a frequency. It is a vibration. You vibrate when you talk. Listen to yourself and feel your body when you're talking. It's vibrational frequencies happening as you are emitting the sounds from your mouth. So that make sure that you stand firm in what it is that you want for your life, for your family, and for your community, and make sure that you send your prayers up to God. Also, do not leave out your ancestors. Understand that your grandmother who has transitioned, she is watching over you. Your grandfather who has transitioned, he is watching over you. Aunts, uncles, siblings, whoever it is that have gone to the other side are looking to you to talk to them, to commune with them, to ask for assistance with them, and to remember them most than anything else. Don't forget those who have transitioned. They are not dead. American culture has taught us that when people die, it's just, that's just it, and that's just all, and that they don't matter, and it's just, they just dead. Don't feed into that poison, because your ancestors are always watching after you. keeping you safe from harm and all kinds of stuff. But I'm saying you can develop an even closer relationship with them when you commune with them and when you talk to them and you tell them about what's going on with you and what you want for your life and what you're trying to bring down into the realms of earth, to better your life, right? So make sure that you commune with your ancestors. It's very important to speak to them, to petition to them the things that you need help with and stuff like that, because sometimes the angels aren't able to help you with certain things that your ancestors can be able to help you with, because they have the experience of being human more so than angels, right? You do have a certain angels that have had the human experience, like I think Metatron. I can't think of another angel, but I know Metatron was supposedly human on this planet. But and also make sure that your ancestors that you call on are the ones who support you and love you, because I know everybody's ancestors aren't picture perfect, and some of them were assholes and didn't treat you right here in the physical realm. I'm not talking about those ancestors. I'm talking about the ancestors that loved you and cherished you. And if you don't have any experience with anyone passing on, you can still contact your ancestors. You can say, I call upon my ancestors that are of high frequency, that support and love me. That's what I always say. Even though I do have ancestors that I know, I'm speaking on those, like, I don't know their actual names. I don't know what they look like, but I know that there's a spiritual force that's around me. That's my ancestors that love me and support me. So you can ask for that. Okay. So let me see if I left anything out. Oh, also, when you are in prayer, take your words seriously. Take what you're saying seriously. If you don't have a space to pray out loud, don't worry about it, because your mind is extremely powerful and you can say your prayers in your mind. Okay, that is also a frequency, because it's about how you're feeling. Make sure that how you're feeling, emote your feelings like while you're praying, and make sure that you have a space that you feel really comfortable and safe in praying in, right? Or petitioning in. Make sure it's a space that's, clean. Make sure that it's a space that feels safe, that feels spiritual, and that you feel comfortable with, like, interceding, right? And having those conversations with a spiritual realm. Here's examples of things that you can ask for, to keep you divinely guided. It's really important for your ancestors and angels and the Most High to keep you divinely guided, to keep you covered in protection of yourself and your family members and those you really care about, to ask to cover and protect your community. And also, I'm going to close out with this. Make sure that whatever you're asking for is from the heart. That's really, really important. Everything can't be just of selfish needs, and don't get me wrong, what you need is what you need, and that is important, but make sure you come from a place of humility and also gratitude for whatever it is that you do have. Make sure as you keep gratitude in your heart for the things that you do have, and make sure that you stay open, and make sure your heart is open to receive whatever it is that you're asking for, right? But we really need to start praying and covering ourselves and our communities and our families. This is where our power is magnified with women. Okay? Like they say, a mother's prayer, you speaking over your child, is so super important to make sure you keep them covered at all times. But I'm saying we need to take it to another level and start praying for communities and praying for the world right now, because it's getting really weird out here. And if you think that you are like you're not a part of whatever is going on around here, like, you got another thing coming, because it's affecting all of us. And the mothers need to come together, and we need to start praying. I feel like, there should be prayer sessions, honestly, where women come together and pray in unison, because like they say, where two or more are gathered, there I am. Not to say that it's that the I am is not there when you're there, but I'm just saying, just like with anything, with a team, things and vibrational frequencies become stronger. So that's all I want to say for this session. This is Infinite Prime. I really hope that you take heed on the words that I'm saying, of especially what's going on in the world today. We really need to come together. We really need to start praying and petitioning. Let's not be the prey. Let's not be preyed upon. Let's start petitioning. Let's start interceding. Let's start orison. That's another word for prayer. And commune with spirit is so important right now, you guys. So I really hope that you take heed on this message. I hope that everyone is well and stay high vibrational in your frequency the best you can. And that's all I have to say. Signing off.